Today on Cheri the Chef, we're going to be making a version of one of my favorite sandwiches, which is a Reuben. And not a lot of people in my family like a Reuben because it has that sauerkraut in it, which I happen to love. I love the bite of sauerkraut. But since it is egg roll wrapper week, that's what we've been working with all week, we're going to roll these up kind of like a spring roll or like an egg roll. So again, we're using some corned beef, some Swiss, and some sauerkraut. And then when we get done, after we fry them, we're going to dip them in some Thousand Island dressing. So before I get started with my egg roll wrappers, I've got to open my can of sauerkraut, which I'm going to show you. I'm going to use our smooth edge can opener again, which I used yesterday. It's just great because it unseals the can. There's just no sharp edges when you get done. So I'm just going to take the lid right off. And then the other thing I was going to show you is our can strainer. So this just goes right over the top of your can, and then you can drain out the liquid. And actually there's no liquid in the sauerkraut. Huh, I really thought there was. I'm just going to dump it in here then. So it's pretty wet, but there's no liquid. So anyway, if this was a can of corn, though, you could put it on the top and you could drain it out. And I should have showed it to you yesterday when we did the crab rangoon because it's perfect for tuna cans or like a can of crab also. Those cans are a little bit bigger. So instead of it going like this, you turn it... You turn it over, press it down into your tuna or your crab, and then you turn it over and it will strain one of those cans as well. Oh my goodness, this sauerkraut is strong smelling. No wonder no one likes it but me. Okay, so I'm going to get this out of the way, and the next thing I'm going to do is grab a couple of my egg roll wrappers. And I'm just going to do a couple of these again, just because I'm the only one that'll eat them with sauerkraut in them. I should probably make some without the sauerkraut, but... Alright, so I just got a couple of these. Again, I'm laying them in a diamond shape. And I am going to take a slice of cheese. And actually, I'll just go ahead and do both of them. I'm going to put the slice of cheese in there. And then I'm going to layer up about 3 pieces of corned beef on each. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to put just a little bit of sauerkraut in the middle. I really thought sauerkraut had a little more like liquid in the can. So that's probably good. And just a little bit in that one. That's good. And then we're going to take our egg wash again. And of course, if you don't have egg wash, you can just use a little bit of water. It'll seal it up fine. I've got my Pampered Chef brush here that's got the lip on it, so you can leave it in the bowl and it won't fall in the bowl or the pan. If you've had that happen before and you have to dig it out, it's kind of a pain. All right, so we are just going to... I'm going to kind of move it this way and tuck this corner underneath there so we can get this real nice and tight. And then once I've got it rolled just a little bit, I'm going to tuck these corners in, and then we're going to finish rolling all the way. And then we're going to do this one. So I'm going to slide this one down. I got it stuck to the thing there. So again, I'm going to pull this forward and take this corner and wrap it over just so we can get this real nice and tight in here. And then once we've done that, we'll tuck in our corners. Make it real nice and tight. And there we have it. Perfect. So I'm going to get the deep fryer, and then we'll get these deep fried, and we'll have some lunch. All right, so I've got my deep fryer, and it's turned all the way up. It's on 375 degrees. And again, I'm not going to use the basket. I'm actually going to lay these down in there by hand using my tongs, just to make sure they're not going to stick to the bottom of the basket. So I'm just going to put these in here one at a time. And again, one of the things I love about the egg roll wrappers is they just don't take long to cook at all. I mean, just a minute or two, and your dish is done. I also just love the crispy texture that they have. And how fun is it to have like your whole sandwich just rolled up and you could take it on the go. So just like we did the breakfast rolls on Monday, you can do these in advance. And again, if you're going to freeze them, I would lay them out in a single layer, put them in the freezer. And then once they've frozen just a little bit, then you can take them and put them in a Ziploc bag. Push this out of the way. Grab my baking rack here, because again, I don't want to drain my deep fried foods or paper towels on a plate, because then it's just going to kind of sit in the oil. So we want to make sure that that oil drains away from our food. And look, these are already nice and golden brown. Want to make sure we get all the grease out of here. The oil, I should say. Grease doesn't sound too appetizing, does it? Sounds like motor oil. All right. So I'm going to let these cool off for just a second, and then we'll give it a taste and see how they are. Well, I can't tell you how excited I am to cut into one of these because I love a Reuben sandwich, like I said, and I'm really interested to see what it's going to taste like with this crispy outer shell. So I've got a little serrated knife here that I'm just going to cut into it. And I was going to make a homemade Thousand Island dressing, and then I realized I don't have any relish on hand. So I've just used my Ken's Thousand Island dressing and just dumped it in a little bowl here. So doesn't that look good? Whole little sandwich rolled up into one. Mmm. This is the best thing yet that I have made so far this week. Oh, I got a little grease dripping out of here. Maybe I do need some paper towels today. That's my favorite thing so far that we've made. It has got the gooiness of the cheese, the bite of the sauerkraut, and then what I really like is the tang of the Thousand Island. I really like the texture. Like I said, it's crispy on the outside, but it's nice and chewy on the inside. So tomorrow we're going to make some homemade pizza. So stay tuned for that. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.